We're all familiar with social media using algorithms to analyze our behavior. Well, what would happen if we introduce AI into the system? Imagine an AI using those algorithms to automate your personality traits. Would it be accurate? And if it is accurate, would you find it creepy or would you find it cool? There's actually a company out there that's actively creating personality profiles for all online users. And who knows, your profile might be on it too. Crystal Knows is a company that uses algorithm that automates your personality assessments based on your social media and online presence. Crystal then sells access to their personality profile database to all kind of organizations, including employers, marketers, and etc. Dr. Tony Liao and Olivia Tyson conducted a research study on Crystal Know where they show participants their Crystal profile and observed to see what folk theories did they come up with when they saw their generated profile in the system. Let's switch over to Dr. Liao and have him explain.
So folk theories as it applies to technological systems are intuitive, informal ideas that people form to explain the outcomes and consequences of technology. We were really interested in Crystal because people were finding their own profiles, or people found out they had a personality profile without knowing they were in the system. So our research was interested in when they see the profile for the first time, when they see evidence of what an algorithm did to guess their personality, how would they respond to it? And then without knowing how this algorithm worked, what folk theories would they come up with to guess and figure out where in their social media and online behaviors the algorithm was pulling this data from?
After presenting the participants their Crystal profile, the two main questions were asked. What folk theories did people come up with about the algorithm? And how did they respond to it?
That's my LinkedIn picture. That's kind of creepy, honestly, because I'm private on every social media, so it's weird that they might not be private.
I don't know if things like this could read your texts or emails, but I email a ton of businesses and stuff, so maybe that? It's very complex. I doubt you could surprise me at all if you told me they could access that.
So on Facebook, I have my privacy settings. You can see my profile pictures and maybe a few tag pictures, but you can't see my posts if you're not friends with me. But on Twitter, I'm public on that. You can see anything. So maybe they found my tweets with my name in it?
I was a little skeptical, just because I felt like a lot of horoscope, everyone can be like, oh, I can relate to that. But the fact that mostly everything is on point is a little more convincing.
After hearing participants' reaction, their folk theories were analyzed and sorted into 4 different domains: data source, data scope, collection procedures, and personalization of output.
So we think that people might have different folk theories either on a limited or powerful spectrum depending on which domain. So it wasn't uniformly powerful or uniformly limited, but whichever one you happen to believe in, that would then guide you or lead you to certain behavioral responses or emotional responses.
If you think the data scope was limited, then you may think that the algorithm collected your social media information at that moment of time, like a snapshot, and your response would be to change your profile setting. Whereas if you think it was powerful, then you may think that the algorithm has been collecting your information for a long period of time. This may lead to a response of deleting your pictures and your profile posts just to feel more protected from the algorithm. Overall, each domain has a limited and a powerful view of the algorithm, and depending on which one you fall under will lead you to different folk theories and responses.
So Crystal is really interesting because it's one of the first personality profiles about real people that is live. There are features on the application that allow people to put 2 people in groups and see how 2 different personality types would work together in groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So managers may actually be using Crystal to make decisions about who gets put on what teams or who gets put on what assignments and promotions and that sort of thing. It's a really important application and has a lot of real-world consequences, which is why we think it's super important to study. So even if it's not accurate, even if some of these folk theories are wrong or isn't really how the algorithm works, as long as people are still making decisions based on it, it matters in the real world. And then people will be making decisions in response to the algorithm based on their folk theories, which is why we think that folk theories is a really interesting theoretical area to study, particularly as AI and algorithms keep getting more and more sophisticated. People are going to have to make sense of this on their own and come up with their own concepts for how this stuff works.
So, what do you think about Crystal? Do you think it's creepy or do you think it's cool?
The AI technology behind it is really cool, and I think we could really apply it in the future. But in my opinion, it takes too much information or personal information to develop a profile, so it's a bit creepy.
Crystal Knows is pretty amazing when it comes to marketing, and Crystal Knows provides marketers these data that is not intrusive but is personalized. So I think it's an amazing tool and should be utilized accordingly, of course.
If you want a more in-depth understanding of the research, we have an extended video of Dr. Liao explaining the folk theories, or you can read the article in the journal Social Media and Society.